All right, y'all, I'm doing it. I am going to tell you all why I came back from my mission early. The real truth. So if you want to know why I'm back and not in Argentina right now, then keep watching this video. Okay, so for starters, it's hard to kind of pinpoint where to start with this because there is a lot that goes into the reasoning of why I came home, but I'd say it kind of goes with why I decided to go on a mission, which is, well, when I was a junior, I just thought, hey, a mission sounds cool, but I didn't really give it much consideration. I just kind of said it, and then my mom was like, that's so great, honey. Okay, you're gonna go on a mission, how great. And then once it came closer and I was gonna be 19, I panicked and I didn't want to go at all, not the slightest bit. That definitely played a factor on my mission because I didn't want to be there. And I knew that it would be for my benefit, and I knew that, you know, there's nothing really bad that can come from a mission, or at least that's what I thought. And so when I left on my mission, I kind of just did it, you know, just because I didn't really do it for myself exactly, but more so for what people were telling me and the reasons why they were telling me to do it. And so that's why I left in the first place. But another thing that made me feel very iffy about going on my mission was that when I was doing my papers, there's a part in your papers where you write about your health problems and just things that have happened in the past, and you list everything, and it says to answer honestly, because if you're not answering honestly, then you're not being honest with God. It literally says that. And so when I first filled out the papers, I did put everything about me. I did all the things that have happened in my past, all the health problems that I've had, which are quite a bit. I put on there that I had depression in the past, that I have anxiety, and my depression is circumstantial. And so I put that on there. And I also just had a lot of things that have happened to me on there, not very good ones. And so I finished that, and then when my parents hadn't seen it yet, but when we took it to the doctors, you know, just for the checkup that you go to, I brought them that paper, and the doctor took a great big look at it, and he said, there's no way that they're sending you on a mission with all this on here. And he basically told me that I needed to cut out, like, all of it. And he basically told me that if I wanted to go on a mission, that I would have to cut out all of it. And of course, this brought forth a lot of stress and anxiety. And I was like, okay, this, like, is proof that the mission isn't for me. But then my dad was all like, no, are you kidding me? You're just being dramatic or whatever. And he made me take out every single thing on my papers, like every single little thing. There was not a single thing on my health, the health portion of the papers. Nothing, nada, no, nothing, literally nothing, okay? And as you can guess, that was really hard for me. I just felt like I was being dishonest, but my dad, like, made me do it. I felt terrible. So that's one thing that y'all have to understand, is that I just, going on a mission entirely just didn't sit right with me. And I just didn't feel like ready for it. And I didn't feel like I wanted to go at all. So when I left, I was just really anxious. Like, even getting, like, my clothes for my mission, I would be so upset every time I went shopping for clothes, just because I didn't want to be doing it. And just thinking about my mission made me, like, angry. And whenever people ask me about my mission, I was, like, angry about it. Like, I was so annoyed that people would ask me about it. I just didn't want to go in general, but I wanted to do it for my family, and I wanted to do it for, like, my future self, I guess. I thought that, like, it would bring a lot of blessings to my life, which is true, I still think. But anyways, I left, went to the MTC. The first couple of days were really fun because it felt like kind of just like this camp, and I was like, this is so cool. My companion was literally the best person ever. Without her, oh my gosh, I don't know how I would get through the MTC. She was the best. She's, like, my best friend. I love her. Love you, Megan. Love ya. And so when I went over there, it was fun, but then it kind of, like, a ton of anxiety and depression hit, and I would just like sit in class and just like feel like not present. I would feel like I wasn't part of anything, and I would look around and just be like, what am I doing? Like, why am I here? You know, like what made me do this? But somehow I got through the MTC experience, and I was actually excited to go to Argentina at that point, because I was like, whatever, I'm already in this. I already went through the temple, which I didn't really want to do at all, and I didn't feel ready for, because I didn't want to go on a mission. But I was like, I already did it, so like might as well just go forward with this. So then I went to Argentina, and once I got to Argentina, I was just like,
oh my goodness gracious, this is crazy.
Crazy. It's like I actually liked it. I liked the people, they were nice, and I love my companion again. God bless me with really good companions, but I just, my body was having a really hard time. I would just have the worst thoughts throughout the day, just terrible things about like hurting myself, or just I felt terrible, and I would try to push it out to the side and try to focus on my mission, but it was like I couldn't. And I expressed that to my mission president. I had never felt more depression or anxiety in my entire life, and I had been diagnosed with depression, not anxiety, just because I never really expressed because I didn't really know it was anxiety. But apparently I have really, really bad anxiety, and I just didn't really think I had it, so I never really talked to my therapist about that aspect of my life. I just talked about the depression, and I had been diagnosed with depression, and it was just what I knew to be my depression was worse than it had ever been, and I felt like it just took a toll on me every single day. And while I was there, I just called the mission president. I was like, listen, like, I don't feel good, and I need to go home. And he was just like, okay, wait. Let me talk to you. Let's sit down. Let's discuss things. Like, see if we can do anything to help. Because we don't want you to go home, but like, obviously we're not gonna like force you to stay here, but like, let's figure it out. So I was like, okay, sure. So I met with them, and they were just like, here's some reading. Read these scriptures. Read your, what's it called? Like the missionary handbook thing that helps with like adjusting to missionary life. It's like, read that, and then next week we'll meet again and see how you feel. So I did all what they told me to, and then I met with them again, and literally like just meeting with them that next week was all I held on to. I was just like, just one more week here, like just one more week of feeling so terrible. And honestly, I don't know what brought on all those emotions. I think in general I just have like separation anxiety from my family, which is odd because like, I don't know, just like a typical girl, like I always want to leave the home, but whenever I'm actually gone, I just start freaking out, and I don't know, it's a weird thing, but I just got it really bad. And so that meeting with them was all that I held on to. And so when that came up, I met with him, and I literally sobbed, and I was like, please send me home. Like, I feel like you're keeping me here now. Like, because he was still trying to be like, okay, what more can we do to make you stay, blah, blah, blah. He was like, make a list of why you should stay, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, listen, I'm not feeling okay. I'm like, I don't like feeling like this. It's not easy to wake up every single day feeling like this the entire day. The days felt so long, not because we weren't doing anything. It was just because feeling like that bad, and knowing that there's something you could do to fix it, but feeling like you can't do it because, you know, you just can't just get on a plane is so hard. And I just was like, I can't feel like this anymore. I can't. Please, like, send me home, please. Like, if you understand, if you pray about it, you'll know that this is like the best decision for me, because honestly, like, I didn't want to come here in the first place, and I thought I could just do it, but it hurts too much, and I don't have that much motivation to finish it. It's just, I can't do it. I would love to be able to, but it physically hurts. I had developed, even in the MTC, pain in my chest from anxiety, and like in the MTC was very slight, but once I got to Argentina, it felt like somebody was just like stepping on my chest 24/7 and never went away. At the nights it would get really bad, like right before bed, and I would have panic attacks weekly, And when I cried to him, he still was like, okay, well, like, let's just give it a couple more days. Like, he kept doing that, and it was so frustrating. So then he gave me a couple more days, and then I stayed a little longer, and then because I knew for sure I was gonna go home in a couple of days, it felt like okay, because I was like, had that to hold on to. And then when I met with him, I was like, I think I could stay a transfer. Like, I think I could do it, right? And he was like, okay, that's great news. And I was like, yes, I can do it. I can do this. But as soon as I like was back to being like, okay, you're gonna stay here for longer and you're not going home, my body again was just like, nope, not gonna do that. And then I had the worst chest pains I'd ever had. I had a huge panic attack in the night where I was just shaking and crying, and it felt like the darkest point of my entire life. And my companion was like, Sabrina, I love you and I want you to stay, but you need to go home. And it was like so nice to hear that from her, because I felt like everybody was just like pressuring me to stay, but she was just like, Sabrina, I love you and you're hurting. Like, you don't have to stay here for me. You don't have to stay here. She's like, I don't want you to feel like this anymore. You can go home. And I was like, okay. And then I called my mission president the next morning, and I didn't even ask to go home, because I still wanted to stay transfer. I just said like, hey, just so you know, I had a panic attack again last night, and it was a really bad one, and I had really bad chest problems in the night, and it was the worst it's ever been, and I'm still having them. I just want to make sure this is okay, and this isn't like super unhealthy. Is there like anything I can do to stop it? And he was like, okay, I'm gonna call the therapist in Buenos Aires and I'll call you back. So he called the therapist, and then he calls me back and he goes like, Sabrina, I talked to the therapist, and you know, I've been praying about it too, and I think the best thing for you is to go home. So you're leaving on Monday. Like, he just was like, you're leaving on Monday. And I was like, oh, okay. And so then I told my companion, I was like, well, I guess I'm leaving on Monday. And she's like, really? And I was like, yeah, I didn't really ask, but I feel good about that. Like, that's what I needed to do. And so I packed my bags and I went home, and now I'm here, and it's been hard adjusting, but all I wish is that people would just like understand that like it really was hard, and like, you know, I just feel like this is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm on my own path, and I might not do everything that's like in line with what y'all think I should be doing, but I'm trying to figure things out, and I'm trying, okay? And I'm sorry that I'm not perfect, and I'm sorry that like I'm still confused, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt kind of like alone lately, and kind of like, I don't know, I'm figuring out my journey on life and what I believe in, what I have faith in. I'm trying to figure that out, okay? I'm not trying, like I really am trying in my own way, so don't judge me. It's just really annoying when people judge me and be like, why aren't you doing this? Or aren't you supposed to do this? And aren't Mormons supposed to do this? And it's like, I'm sorry I'm not perfect, but at least I'm trying, and I know that, so honestly, it doesn't even really bother me because nobody really gets it. And even when I explain the story, like, I explain it in such a light way. Like, it wasn't light, but it was just like, in reality, it was so bad, so dark, and so painful. And it's hard to kind of represent that right now and give you guys a view on exactly what that was like. And I'm sorry that this video is forever long, but it just there's so much to it. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure things out right now. And even talking about this like gives me anxiety, and I have pain right now, which sucks that I've developed this thing. But I'm going to therapy now, and I feel like I'm getting better slowly, step by step, day by day. So I think that's all that matters. But thank you for all the support and love, and everybody who did encourage me to go on a mission. Like, I don't regret it. I learned so much, and I also met my 2 wonderful companions who just are the light in my world. Literally, they're the best. And I met so many people there that I love, and I got to experience the culture of Argentina, and the Argentines are literally so incredible, and I miss them every single day. I always will think about my little mission experience. I was only there for like on a mission for like 2.5 months, but you know what? It was really great, and it did bring a lot of hard feelings and pain and just made me unhealthy, but you know, the experiences were really great. I'm not saying the experiences were bad. It was good, and honestly, I really did enjoy it. It wasn't the best thing for my health, and, you know, it just didn't feel right to be there. And I feel honestly good being here. I don't regret coming home. I feel perfectly fine. So if everybody would just chill and stop asking me like what happened. That's why I'm making this video, because it's so annoying when people ask me what happened. So now y'all know what happened. So yeah, that's all I wanted to do for this video. I thought y'all deserved some kind of explanation. Not that I feel like I owe you guys an explanation. I just feel like, you know, I don't really care to share things with people. I'm a pretty open book. So yeah, thank you for watching. Until next video, bye guys.